Next on Watch the Damn Tape, we're going to get into the ESPN player rankings and do some rankings of our own. What it do, peeps? It's the B Chef with Watch the Damn Tape. Hit that like, that share, that subscribe button. Hit that bell to get notified when I drop my next video. New subscribers, I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoy the show. Old subscribers, thank you for continuing to help me build this platform and push out this content. ESPN recently released their top 25 preseason rankings. I didn't know why they put preseason in there, but anyway. Here's their rankings. Now, a lot of people did not like these rankings. They didn't really understand why. Some people didn't want Angel Reese on there. Some people thought Angel Reese should have been higher. Some people thought Caitlin Clark should be higher. Some people thought Caitlin Clark should be lower. I mean, come on, let's get real. Let's be serious. Lower? No. Arike Ogunwale should have been higher. You got to understand. I told folks online, look, it's ESPN. You take it with a grain of salt. If Malika Andrews or her sister is grading WNBA players, you dismiss the whole list. So I told people, make your own list. And at the same time that they dropped their list, I was just thinking of my grading criteria. So when I saw the list come out, I was just laughing. I was like, wow, they dropped theirs on the same day I was going to drop mine. But I'd like to give mine a little time. So here is the criteria for my list. You got to think of it as a high-rise building, and it's got levels. The top level is the presidential, and here are the presidential players in the league. Now in the presidential is the highest tier. Elite players, they make everyone around them better. Noticeable drop off in play when they are away from the team, and their talent can rub off on other players for short periods of time. In my opinion, the only elite players in the WNBA are Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, and A'ja Wilson. Each one of them are elite in their own right, and each one of them changes the game and makes everyone better. We all saw what Caitlin Clark did to a team that barely won a few games the year before. Kelsey Mitchell had one of her best years when Caitlin Clark was her backcourt mate. Caitlin Clark makes Aaliyah Boston look worthy of wearing a jersey in the WNBA. Aaliyah Boston missed a lot of passes last year, but when Caitlin Clark's on that floor, it's almost like sometimes you see Aaliyah Boston and she's like, wow, she looked like the #1 overall pick. And then sometimes she just fades away. That's why I say it can rub off on you for short periods of time and they look elite. Excuse me. Nafisa Collier, 3-point, mid-range, take you off the dribble, guard multiple positions, block shots, get steals in your back pocket with them steals. Nafisa is basically like a female version of Scottie freaking Pippen. Long arms and can defend. Makes Kayla McBride's game go to another level. Makes Courtney Williams' game go to a level. Bridget Carlton, all of their levels rise when Fee's on the court. Fee makes their games a lot easier. Steals, easy buckets in transition, and the play is elevated. A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson, everything. Complete game. Offense and defense. Easy buckets in transition. You'd have Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young running that court after she gets one of those big blocks. Can hit you, can shoot threes, mid-range game, solid. Slashes and does a crossover, kind of like Asia Wilson. To me is kind of like a mix of Dwayne Wade, the way she's real smooth when she comes off the dribble, and she can pull up like a guard, but she's got Tim Duncan fundamentals playing center and power forward. No, you can rank them in whatever order you want, but they're the only ones in the league, in my opinion, that are in that presidential suite. If you know another player that's presidential, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to just see what you guys think. The next tier, penthouse. Let's take a look. The penthouse, star players in the league on the cusp of elite status. I put Breanna Stewart on this. None of these players from penthouse on down they're not in any order. It's just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Breanna Stewart was elite. She was presidential. Unrivaled. The knee injury, she dropped. That's why I said the second bulletin point, some were elite and have fallen in rankings due to age and or injury. Skylar Diggins, age. When playing alongside an elite player, will often look like an elite player. That's Sabrina Ionescu. Last year, couple years, playing with Breanna, just coming into her own. And that's why I say she's on the cusp of being elite. And for New York to repeat as champions, Sabrina Ionescu will have to play at an elite level. They will not repeat with her playing at the level she's at right now. Even though the level she's at right now is awesome. Perennial all-stars are all WNBA players. Most players that are in the penthouse, multiple all-star appearances, multiple all-NBA, multiple defensive player awards, all defensive team, first team, all NBA, stuff like that. Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, Kayla McBride, Arike Uguale, Skylar Diggins. Most of your stars are in this category. So if you went and looked at the ESPN if you looked at the ESPN list, that's where Alyssa Thomas falls. Jonquel Jones, Anike Umawai, Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Kalia Copper, Chelsea Mitchell, Arike Uguale, Kayla McBride, Chelsea Gray, Skylar Diggins, Jewel Lloyd, Ryan Howard, De'Erica Hamby, Izzy Megabor. That's where they reside. And you notice I left off a few names. Penthouse is a nice club. Nice club. Get your buckets. You gotta have some players on the penthouse that are on penthouse level to win a title. If you notice the last few winners of the WNBA championship, they had an elite player and they had a great mix of penthouse. Just look at, you got Jonquel Jones and you got Sabrina. Penthouse players, they were playing with an elite player in Breanna Stewart. Going up against Napisa Collier, who had Kayla McBride, another penthouse player on her team. So you gotta have that to get to the championship. You notice the teams that didn't make the semifinals, they didn't have a good mix of a elite player and penthouse players. The next group, studio. Let's take a look. Some start. Others are the first off the bench. This is where your Courtney Williams comes in. This is where your six woman resides. Your Alyssa Grays are in this category. Dejanay Carrington is a studio player. Studio player. She starts. Like I said, some start. Often a specialist, a defender, 3-point shooter, shot blocker, etc. That's Dejanay Carrington. Defense. When you think of Dejanay Carrington, when Caitlin Clark's first game, that first person they put on Caitlin Clark was Dejanay Carrington. I saw Dejanay Carrington pick Caitlin Clark's rock at the half court line twice in that game. Erica Wheeler, Benaji Laney Hamilton. You notice when she came back, she gave them a big lift in New York. And they're going to miss her dearly this year. You have to have some studio people. They give your elite players and your bench players. They give sometimes they're the third option on the team, and sometimes they carry the team in those moments where the penthouse or the presidential players have to take a break. When playing with two penthouse level players, will grade out on that level. So you can get an Alicia Gray who's now playing with two penthouse players, such as Ryan Howard and Brittany Griner. Now, her play will bump up. They're usually experienced, often played for multiple teams. Marina Mabrey is a perfect example of a studio. She's a studio specialist. Been on multiple teams in the league, and she's known for getting that. She's instant offense, kind of like the old Detroit Piston Vinny Microwave Johnson. He doesn't start. He come in off the bench, and he produces. His shooting acumen is top notch. That's what he's known for. I guarantee you won't leave Alyssa Gray or Marina Mabrey alone on that 3-point line. They will light you up just like Erica Wheeler. Benaji Laney Hamilton can hit big shots. That's what the studio people do. The majority of the league is studio. Point blank. There are stars in the league. You've seen them in the All-Star game. Studio is where the majority of the league resides. Studio is where Angel Reese resides. Angel Reese, until her shooting gets up, she will not be in the penthouse. She can be an all-star. A lot of studio players can make 1 or 2 all-star games. But in and year out all-star, until she gets to that level, she'll never be a penthouse. She might be a popular player, but not a penthouse player. But this is where Angel Reese resides. This is actually also where Aaliyah Boston resides. Studio. Core player. That's it. The basement. Take a look. The basement, most rookies, younger players, they don't get much playing time. A lot of them often been high draft picks that never panned out. These are the ones that bounce from team to team. Your Ray Burrells, your Queen Igbos, your Bridget Carltons, your Naz Hillmans. These are the players that are in the basement. These are the ones you don't know about. These are the end of the bench. They get in at the end of the second quarter, near the end with the minute left, and they get in the fourth quarter in a blowout, or when your team's you're getting manhandled. You're getting manhandled. They just ain't your night, and they just trying to get a spark. Just get out there and do something. Just try to do something. That's these players. That's these players. Ray Burrell, athletic for no reason. High draft pick. This is where your basement. This is Katie Lou Samuelson. That's why that contract was so bad that the Indiana Fever gave her. A high draft pick that's never panned out, but she's paid like she's a star. These are often the mistakes in the draft, and that's the reason why you can't take the WNBA draft with a grain of salt. To me, all rookies start in the basement, regardless of their stardom, their accomplishments. They all start in the basement. I'll give you a prime example. Caitlin Clark started in the basement. They were losing like crazy. Around the end of May going into June, she started to get out the basement and she started getting into the studio. And that's around the time when people were trying to say that it was a rookie of the year race between her and Angel Reese, because they were about at the same time. Started out slow and then they started climbing. Sound like Ice Cube song. But Caitlin Clark was in the studio. By the time the All-Star break happened and then the Olympic break, Caitlin was at penthouse level. And as soon as the Olympic break was over, you noticed the run and you noticed how they all gelled, and they got that Caitlin Clark magic. And that's when Caitlin Clark went from penthouse to elite. And she ain't coming off elite status no time soon. So people that don't like Caitlin Clark, she gonna be elite for a long time. That presidential suite, she gonna be in that bad boy for a long time. But that's the climb that you gotta make. That's why I don't put Paige Beckers in no penthouse. You ain't proved nothing. You gotta go out there and do it. Sonia Citron, you gotta go out there and prove. You gotta go prove it. Dominique Malonga, you in the basement. You gotta prove it. These women, they want this money, and they will do their damn best to try to keep you looking like a fool. That's why you're in the basement until you get out the basement. But those are my rankings. That's how I rank the players. Let me know your thoughts. Give me your ranking, your ranking criteria. Give me if you want to give me your top 25. I just thought the top 25, hell, it's only like 150 something players in the league. Like I said, most of them are in the studio or in the basement. It's only a handful of penthouse players. Only a handful. And only 3 elite. But those are my thoughts. Leave your comments below. Can't wait to hear them. Until next time. Peace.